Tonight, a marijuana activist in British Columbia has been granted approval to launch an official petition to decriminalize pot. Is it a step towards legalization of marijuana in this province? That's the issue. Straight ahead on Top Story. Good evening and welcome to Top Story. Elections BC has approved an initiative petition to Dana Larsen that will take effect on September 9th. At that time, Larsen will have 90 days to gather the signatures of 10% of voters in each of BC's 85 ridings. If he can do that, a committee at the legislature could choose to either send the matter to the Ledge for a vote or call a provincial-wide non-binding referendum. And for more on the petition, we are joined on the line, in fact, he's right in front of us, by the man behind the petition, Dana Larsen. Dana, is this a big victory day for you?
Well, it's a big step forward, but we're a long way from victory. We've really got to get all those signatures that we need, and that's a big challenge. But things are going well. We're building momentum, and I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the campaign right now.
So how many people are going to have to spread out across the province to get these signatures?
Well, we're going to need several thousand volunteer canvassers working their butts off from September to December. The HST campaign had about 6,000 people. We're looking for something similar. We've already got several thousand people lined up who say they want to get involved. So as long as we can keep this momentum going over the summer, we should be in a good position come September.
Okay, I know the ultimate goal is legalization, but that's still basically a federal government thing, is it not? So what does this do?
Well, you're right that the real prohibition on marijuana is a federal law, but there's a lot the provinces can do. Our legislation, the Sensible Policing Act, would effectively decriminalize marijuana possession in British Columbia by using our provincial jurisdiction over the police to make the police stop doing any searches or arrests for marijuana possession. So that's not the final solution to the issues around marijuana, but it's a really good first step towards what we hope will be ultimately a fully legally and regulated system.
I know we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here, but how far down the road do you think, realistically, does it depend on who's sitting in power in Ottawa?
No, this is something that I think the people of this province can do regardless of who's really in power. The Liberal government didn't want to get rid of the HST either, but once the referendum happened, they went along with that. This is something the people of British Columbia can do. We're not dependent upon the whims of politicians for this one. We can really do this ourselves.
Have you done any studies, any polls that give you a sense of whether you can get 10% in each riding?
Oh, absolutely. The support is out there. Our polling shows over 70% support for the provisions of the Sensible Policing Act among the people of British Columbia. Our polling also found majority support among every demographic group and every political group. So even a majority of Conservative Party voters in our province want to see marijuana decriminalized. Winning the referendum vote will be the easy part. The hard part for us is just the logistical challenge of collecting so many signatures in such a short period of time.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time to do it, do you?
No, we've actually been campaigning since September, so we've been at this for almost a year now. We've built a real groundswell of support. We now have 60 days to get our canvassers registered. Then from September 9th, we have 90 days to collect what comes to about 400,000 signatures. It's a big challenge, but we're really getting ready for it.
Okay, explain to me, and for people who might be a bit confused, difference between decriminalizing marijuana and outright legalizing it.
Yeah, sure, and those are terms that mean different things to different people. What our legislation would do very specifically what our legislation would do very specifically is to stop the police in British Columbia from making any searches or arrests for marijuana possession. A minor in possession of alcohol would be treated as, a minor in possession of marijuana would be treated as if that was alcohol. And then further, our law calls upon the federal government to actually repeal marijuana prohibition so that BC could then legalize in a manner similar to alcohol and tobacco. So decriminalizing means we stop focusing police resources on possession. Legalizing means there's some legal way for adults to grow and purchase marijuana in a store.
And very quickly, are there other Dana Larsens across the country working in other provinces right now trying to do the same thing?
Well, there's plenty of devoted activists across the country, but what's special in British Columbia is our referendum system. So other provinces don't have the option of having this kind of grassroots people power campaign of forcing something on the ballot. But any province could decriminalize marijuana in this fashion, and I know that many other folks in other provinces are pushing their provincial governments to also take action on this. The provinces pay for the cost of the courts, the cost of policing, and the cost of incarceration. So it's very appropriate for the provinces to decide, hey, we have better ways to spend our police resources than going after marijuana smokers.
All right, Dana, thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, and anybody who wants to get involved, sensiblebc.ca is the place to go.
All right, you got the plug in.
Hey, thank you.
Dana Larsen with Sensible BC. Thank you very much. I like how he points at the camera. He's like a wrestler.